Hola, welcome to Barcelona and the Louis Vuitton Cup final. We're about to hit the halfway mark of this series, and it couldn't get any closer. Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli and Ineos Britannia are evenly matched, deadlocked in a race to fulfill their destiny. There is no clear leader. Neither team is showing supremacy or vulnerability. One mistake is all it's going to take to turn celebration into commiserations. So let's head to the start box. These two fierce rivals are ready to race. Ineos Britannia has port entry. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli is on starboard.
Starting to go here. Holding now. Okay, boys. All the way.
Potentially a very even start coming up here.
Okay. Working out. Performance here. Same speed, same height.
Race 7, Louis Vuitton Cup final. Is today the day the deadlock is broken?
A little bit higher mode here, tiny. Good. Parallel.
Such a close start. Luna Rossa just 9 metres back, marginally better than the British.
Good angle there.
It's a big drag race to this left boundary for early control in this race. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli just fractionally advantageous at the moment.
Increasing distance, we can press a bit more.
A little bit too, guys.
Yeah, building.
Help you build on me with some ride height or something.
We need to build more.
We saw yesterday how well Ineos Britannia managed to get a high mode, squeeze them off.
Okay, getting good
Definitely
pressure.
trying to work that now.
Okay, not the line again.
Stand by, he's coming inside.
Have fun.
Wait.
Up.
2, 1 aboard. Going 3, 1, right. 2, 1, board down. 1, aboard.
And lead bow attack here by the Italian team. They'll jam this straight into a high mode.
Build.
They need to try and bump the British team off. Now the British are windward boat having to keep clear.
Same shape of this.
Nothing in this race.
The high build's okay to me.
Yep. Coming up a little bit more. I'll do it in a moment.
Yeah, you're a click faster, same height. You can take a little high if you want.
Keko Bruni on the steering wheel at the moment.
Looks nice.
Having a
James
little
Spithill
look.
providing tactics. He needs to have a little look, but
No faster than this. This is good.
slight controlling position now, the Italians.
Keep updating.
Okay, normal build. Building, he's gone.
2, 1, on board.
So the British team there minimising damage, having to tack away. Advantage Luna Rossa.
On board with Ben Ainsley, he was forced to tack away there, so we've seen the stock standard start now several times from Luna Rossa and Ineos, with Luna Rossa preferring to start up on the windward side, take it out to the left-hand action, tack to leeward, and then gauge up to force Ineos to tack away. So that's 2 extra tacks to GBR, with Ineos now trailing by around 70 metres. And remember, 95% of these races are won by the boat that's ahead at the first mark.
1 second, give me 1 second.
Hey guys,
Okay, boys, we
just try and
got
get some speed for the tack.
Stand by. Going 3, 2, 1, board down. Rest.
Beautiful tack on board. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. British have got a little left shift, so bow on bow. Giveaway boat is the British team, but they do have a slight lead, so should be an easy cross from there for them. Side to slam right in front of the Italians there. Advantage now back to the British. Luna Rossa in a high mode, so
2, 1, board down.
we'll see a split here at the top mark.
Wow, how quick was that? Top gate, first leg of 8 done, and it's neck and neck after 1.
Great comeback by the British. Oh, massive splashdown by the Italian team. And a huge breakage on board Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
We heard that they had issues on that upwind leg.
They've massive structural failure on board the Italian boat.
All we've got to do is stay in the course.
Yeah, we're stay on the course. Yeah.
Go head to wind.
Yeah, stay with wind.
Guys, ragazzi, abbiamo un fairing in acqua là.
Tranquillo, tranquillo. Okay, we have to stay on the course.
So
Major problems on Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli on a pivotal day in the Louis Vuitton Cup.
We are staying on the race.
Structural issue. It does not look good from what we see, but we'll get confirmation.
Chip fairing.
Major advantage to Ineos Britannia.
Maybe check.
Before removing stuff, I will get rid of this fairing. Got a bit of main sheet on, guys.
Can you see, Glenn, where the issue might be?
there's a big fairing, like a non-structural fairing that goes over the top of that jib track. So just trying to get some shots now on board there, but that is definitely not a good sign for the Italian team. The fairing, not a big issue, but it's what's underneath that fairing that's broken and actually punched that up through the deck. So try and get some more shots here.
Maybe we can keep sailing, but we don't have the wand. What else?
The wand's here.
What else is missing on the boat? Outer fairing.
Very good. In the meantime, Ineos Britannia are sailing away. And sailing away to what will be a win. Let's be blunt, let's lay it out right now. Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli at the moment are dead in the water. And this is going to be a major shift in the Louis Vuitton Cup. Now, it depends how bad that damage is. And can they get back for race 8?
So Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli will just not get outside assistance, and they will be forcing the British team to sail all the way around the track. The British team will just take the foot off the gas and they'll just deliver the boat around the track to get the race win. If the Italian team get outside assistance, the race will get awarded to the British team. So they've decided just to hold, do some inspections themselves, and actually force the British team to just deliver the boat around the track, hoping obviously that they don't get any issue themselves, but it'll just be now a delivery race for the British team, and we'll try and get to the bottom of what is going on board Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. So just having a look on this upwind coming up to the top mark.
Okay, just go and get the boat locked in, guys.
Yeah, I have to come back. Boat not going there.
No problem. Then we go late, guys.
Togli l'automatico. Togli l'automatico. Okay, yeah, 1 second, give me 1 second.
Hey, guys.
So this is just coming in towards the top mark before we saw the issue. And we'll just have a look at some of these shots now. Oh, and a really big nosedive there. That's a huge, huge load case going down the mine at nearly 50 knots of boat speed there. And the loading on the front sail there, absolutely huge. Possibly the water pressure on the hull has actually popped or flexed the hull and actually popped all the fairings off. So that is a huge load case, and you can hear the cracking there. So I'm not 100% sure exactly whether it's just fairing damage or whether there's been anything more structural underneath that, but that is one huge load case on board Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli.
On the upwind leg, they were complaining with issues on the foil. I mean, could that have caused that massive nosedive there?
Yeah, look, it's a great question. I mean, to get a big nosedive like that, there's something that's gone, whether it's something in the rudder rake ram, so the pitch of the boat changing that aggressively generally would be caused by either a ventilation on the front foil, which is unlikely, or most likely a rudder venting issue or a rake ram issue. So the rudder elevator controls the pitch of the boat, whereas the front foils generally control the vertical ride height. So lots going on here.
Very small fairing just off our port bow. 50 metres off our port bow. 10 o'clock.
So I believe the race committee were just asking Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli if there's any debris in the water, and I think Jimmy Spithill there just saying a little bit of fairing floating off the port bow. So the British team now, Shirley, just having to execute the delivery lap, or laps, to gain this vital point in this series. The shore crew of Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli will be scrambling to get information, which they can't do at the moment because there can't be communication from the coach boat to the actual yacht while the race is going. So they'll be looking for as much info as they can, as quickly as they can.
It must be such a helpless feeling for the shore crew of Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, but in the meantime, Ineos Britannia, the official challenger of record, just continue and are being forced by Luna Rossa to sail the full race. So 3 legs done now. They'll head down on the 4th leg downwind to complete the halfway mark. And everybody just tries to understand what we have just seen again.
This is an onboard shot in close to 50 knots of boat speed here, so nearly 100 kilometres an hour. And then big slow down to around 15 to 20 knots of boat speed. So that
the fairing up.
Piece of fairing, yeah, that's just a lightweight piece of sort of non-structural fairing, if you like, just an aerodynamic fairing. So it's what's underneath that. If there's been any major breakages underneath that fairing, that's where the real issues will lie.
This is the umpires. Italy is retired, the race is stopped and awarded to Great Britain.
So the official call on race 7 of the Louis Vuitton Cup. A big stuff by Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli off the Bearaway at the top of the mark after 1 leg. And they've done enough that they have had to retire, and Ineos Britannia now go up 4-3.
Yeah, it's a real tough for Luna Rossa. I don't know exactly what happened, but I hope they're all okay. And yeah, it was, it's lining up to be another cracking race. We had a pretty even start, and then we just managed to get ahead of that top gate. And obviously they went for the tack Bearaway, and that was the last I saw of them. So yeah, anyway, hope they're all good.
Keko, we're all a bit stunned. What happened?
Yeah, well, we had a problem at the top mark. We stuffed the bow in the water, and a lot of water coming on deck. So we lost the wind instrument and part of the fairing. I think we are going to be able to, pretty sure we're going to be able to fix it for the next race.
Ineos Britannia go 1 up in dramatic conditions. Shaken but not defeated, Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli are confident they can get back up to speed for race 8. Can they claw 1 back? Or is this the day the deadlock will finally be broken? We'll find out after the break. Welcome back to the Louis Vuitton Cup final. The Italians have paid the price for a mistake and handed the British an uncontested point. Can they get back up to speed and draw the series, or will the British go 2 up? Let's go racing. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli has port entry. Ineos Britannia is on starboard.
The Italian team will just sail down the boundary here, and they will jibe back, trying to land on their time on distance at the start, forcing the British. Close to the boundary, British team. They'll have to spin the boat inside, not get a boundary penalty. Oh, they've got a bit on the British. And they've skidded the boat out of bounds.
This is the umpires, GBR boundary penalty, GBR boundary penalty.
Oh, massive mistake there by the British team. They tried to get a little too fancy, too close to the line off the boundary, and they've gone out. So the Italian team now just have to start, and the British team will have to get 75 metres behind. So big advantage for the Italian team.
If you wanted another twist in the America's Cup, you just got it.
Gets trimmed up and peeled. My wheel. Yeah. And you can press now. Pressing here.
time for us.
Can't be early, the Italians, which they're not.
We are racing in race 8 of the Louis Vuitton Cup. Who handles the pressure most?
So a 75-metre deficit. Expect the Italians to immediately tack as well and just try and lock this rate down from the start. The British having to do everything they can to make up that 75-metre deficit, which is quickly turned into 130 metres. Both boats on their M3 mainsails or their smallest mainsails and smallest jibs.
I think we go earlier. Yeah, anytime. 3, 2, 1, we're done.
British opting to take the right turn at the top. Luna Rossa now have the choice of either to take that off them or to actually take left turn at the top. They'll probably just to keep it simple, I think.
Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli leads at the top gate, but it's only leg 1 of 8. Who controls this race the best is in a strong position. We saw 2 races like this yesterday, and the controlling boat in front on both occasions did a magnificent job. Around goes Ineos Britannia. Both boats, quite simply, flying at pace.
Oh, nearly 54 knots exit speed there for Ineos Britannia. Just see the little puffs of cavitation there on the top surface of that leeward foil going through the water. So both teams right at the very, very top end of their boat's performance. 48 knots the British, only 49 knots of boat speed.
That's right, guys, keep pushing here. Let's gain, lads.
Big bottom mark roundings coming up here for both teams.
Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli still leading in race 8 of the Louis Vuitton Cup final. Both boards down, taking it nice and easy. Around they go, but not too far behind now. Ineos Britannia, they've made up some ground.
Yeah, that was a very, very slow rounding there by Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. Huge gains to the British. About 1.5 degrees to 2 degrees difference there in the heel angle of both boats, but both boats achieving very similar performance, just slightly different methodology with their aero packages. See how fast that foil's going through the water upwind here. The Italians not engaging in a match race in these upper range conditions, just focusing on sailing their own boat and trying to maintain that lead. The British, though, clawing themselves back into this slowly.
Cross coming up, and it's Luna Rossa are under the pump here from Ineos. Ineos look really locked in this condition. Luna Rossa coming right over to the left-hand side. A little bit different on the water today. The left-hand side looks always, when you look up the track, to have a little bit more pressure in the left. But this one's a real dogfight. Ineos are not going away.
Italians clear across, but definitely gains back to the British team. Ineos Britannia.
Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli in race 8 of the Louis Vuitton Cup, after a big nosedive in race 7, are now leading. There's 3 done, 5 to go. A long way to go.
55 knot bear away there on board the Italian team. That's over 100 kilometres an hour, 102. They are not hanging around. British team putting the training wheels down just to stabilise the boat as they exit that. But wow, what a mark rounding by the Italians. That was absolutely full throttle and just hang on. I think both teams really right on the edge of what they're doing with these boats, just on the edge of grip, and very, very difficult conditions to keep pushing the boats hard, which they have to do. Both teams absolutely holding it flat out and having to execute their boat handling perfectly.
In 5 seconds, boys.
As this breeze has got up, the sea state's got up. And it was flat earlier on, but it certainly isn't now. We're coming down behind both boats. and we're having to throttle off and chase zero. So the boats will have had to have adjusted to the bigger sea state. The separation between the swells is quite close, probably only about 5 seconds.
I think every time the boats jibe in these conditions, I think, as Peter was mentioning, this sea state, little gains back to the British every jibe. So the Italians having to push hard, otherwise the British will be staring them in the eyeballs.
Still leading at the halfway mark in race 8 of the Louis Vuitton Cup. It's Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli around.
On a big skid.
And in comes Ineos Britannia, chasing, hunting down Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. Only 7 seconds.
Yeah, and a big skid there on board the Italian boat, so they washed off a lot of speed and a lot of distance. Gains back to the British. They did a better rounding. This is next intersection's going to be very, very interesting. British digging their way back into this well.
He's reaching boundary. What's going to be the plan on him?
Let's see where when we meet. But probably gonna hit him. Yep. Come on.
They know faster. Good mode, actually.
Good gains to us.
The wind today's been quite dynamic. It's been moving round, and we've been waiting for the wind to flick back to the right, and it really hasn't been doing that. But just up this windward beat this time, Luna Rossa have got over to that right-hand side. They were pretty close at the bottom mark, but you can see they've extended out now to, 137 metres. The right is starting to pay, and Luna Rossa are protecting that.
Yeah, we just saw Luna Rossa defend the right-hand side hard, forcing Ineos Britannia to tack away.
Entering the trap here.
By 3, 2, 1, all clear.
Luna Rossa continue to lead. 5 done, 3 to go. Race 8, Louis Vuitton Cup final. Ineos Britannia leading 4-3.
Nice.
Oh, mega bear away there by the Italians. The fastest one we've seen.
Interesting, that one. There was more pressure looking down the course on the left, but the wind shift actually was on the right-hand side. And although Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli were in less breeze, their angle was better, and that's why that lead for Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli is extended. It's just the phasing. Luna Rossa went round that top mark, and they elected to go on the right side, and that was a key moment, what mark they picked for this downwind leg.
The Italians continue to lead in race 8. Both boards down, gently, gently. And away they go.
Nice rounding, and British team.
They're pushing hard.
See the leeway there, just as that windward board comes up, that big shunt of side force going through that leeward foil. The Italian team just doing enough to control this race.
Another piece of America's Cup history is created. From near disaster, for the 3rd time, Luna Rossa has come back, and the Louis Vuitton Cup final remains deadlocked. It's 4-all. Luna Rossa win.
Yeah, I mean, these curveballs that keep coming our way, they're, that's when you see a champion team. And once again, all the short team, the structural engineers jumped on board and were able to effect a repair to get us to get out there, and then boys just sailed a absolutely flawless race. So, yeah, great job bouncing back in that second one.
Ben, what happened at the start?
Yeah, we just got out of position, which in these conditions really hard, because you can't just throw the boat around like you want to, or you can do in lighter airs. So yeah, it was our mistake, and they did a great job to defend. It was a close race.
To be a high flyer, you have to stay on the foils. You also can't afford to make a single mistake. A dramatic 50-knot nosedive cost Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli the first race of the day. And then Ineos Britannia paid the price for a start box penalty and ended up playing an unwinnable game of catch me if you can. So after 8 races, we are still deadlocked. It's 4-all. The 1st to 7 final is still anyone's. 2 races have been scheduled for tomorrow, and we will be back with all the highlights as Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli and Ineos Britannia continue to battle it out for the Louis Vuitton Cup.